in the Eugenia family. They have this one little stem in the middle and then these two leaves coming out from the side. The new growth has little like red tips. This is a pigeon plum. It's related to our sea grape. It's a Florida native. Another hardwood hammock all-star here in Florida. Oh, baby coon rolling there. Oh. Here's another citrus right here. Spikies on it. It says, "Don't touch me, don't put me out into a field. I'm wild, I'm crazy." Here's some sable palms just getting started. Gumbo limbo. I always like to look for the gumbo limbo as well too. Sometimes they'll leak a little resiny sap, and this is a good fire starter as well too. It also has truly the most amazing smell as well too. If you like to burn things in your home, like candles, or you've heard of saging or smudging, this is a more sustainable and regenerative method for clearing energy in a space and also starting a fire as well too. So you'll notice sometimes there'll be leaking sap, and hardwood sap leaking from these hardwood trees is known as copal, and it was a sacred substance to people who lived in the forest because they were able to start fires with it. It holds a flame for a long time. This plant looks like it has like eyes all over it. Okay, so we've made it to the food forest. Yes, that's gumbo limbo. Okay, so we already talked a little bit about what a food forest is, but sometimes it can be confusing coming back here because you're like, I want to start a food forest, but I don't have a forest to grow food in. So don't think that way. With Leanne, we've started these in just open lots, but we're using the forest as our model to grow food. And so we've already talked a little bit about this plant right here, but this is a nitrogen fixing plant. So a food forest is made up of food and then also support species. So productive species like avocados that we can eat, and then these plants that feed the other plants, that way we don't have to buy plant food. So this is Cassia or Senna alata. It's the host plant for our sulfur butterfly. Thank you, Cassia. And if you want to grow this plant, you can take home these little seed pods. Inside, you'll see a bunch of little seeds inside. But all you gotta do is just go home, scatter the seeds like this, see what comes up. It's amazing what grows when we stop mowing our lawns and we allow things to grow. So you say, Megan, I can't stop mowing my lawn. The city's gonna be mad at me. What do I do? So in order to take back our lawn spaces, what we do is we start loading in hardwood mulch. So don't go to the store and buy mulch. I never want you to buy mulch in a plastic bag again. What you can do is connect with local tree trimmers, and we have the local tree trimmers come and drop off mulch. There's even an app for it now called Chip Drop. They'll drop off free mulch for you. You spread the mulch, you scatter your seeds, and you see what happens. And it's amazing what will happen. So if you want to take home some cassia with you, feel free to harvest off some of these brown seeds. That's a signal that we're ready. Those green seeds up there, we wouldn't want to take home, but feel free to take this home. Like I said, it's the host plant for sulfur butterflies, so you have little yellow butterflies flying around, and this will also feed the system. And cassia has medicine as well too. Makita, my 8-year-old friend, I was like telling her all about nitrogen, she was like, this plant has medicine in it as well too, and it does. Cassia allegedly is very good for our skin. So here's our little food forest. We got some mangoes, we got some chaya. And what we're doing is we're maximizing space through stacking. And so rather than growing in rows, we're growing in layers from the bottom up. Here's some little eggplants. This is called angel wing begonia. It kind of looks like an angel wing. That's my grandma's favorite plant. Let's talk about longevity spinach. I keep doing this voice. At graduation last night, I felt like a party motivator. We got everybody over there with the cassia. Thank you. Okay, so we've laid down our mulch. We want to get our garden started. What do we do next? We don't need to go to the garden store to buy plants because that's expensive. What we do is we come to our friends' gardens. We come to Snyder Park and we propagate things through cuttings. So this is another tropical spinach. Remember the tropical spinach from the front garden? So that was CISO spinach. This is called longevity spinach because it helps us to live a long time, filled with nutrients. So what we do is we come to a garden and we say, oh, I want to bring home some longevity spinach with me. So once again, we ask permission from the plant. We take a nice cutting like this, maybe take a couple of cuttings. We never want to take more than 1/3 of the plant, but just take a couple cuttings so that you have better chance of success. And what we're going to do is remove these lower leaves. We can eat them, or we can just chop and drop them back on the plant as a nice thank you. So we'll put them back on the plant. We're taking off our lower leaves, and you can see there are these little points where I just ripped off those leaves from. So these points are energy centers. This is where leaves can come out, but it's also a place where roots can come down too. So we take home our plant with us. We make a nice little cut just below one of those points, and we stick it in some soil. You can also stick longevity spinach in water, but I find that plants root stronger in soil. So just stick it in a little pot with some soil. It's going to start growing some roots, and it'll start growing out for you. So how these plants got here was simply through cuttings. And so does anyone want to bring home longevity spinach? If anybody else wants one, feel free to do what I just said. Take a little cutting or two, bring it home with you. And these plants are amazing. So rather than trying to grow like spinach from the grocery store, this plant is drought hardy, it's resilient, it's a nice ground cover. We don't have to do anything other than just stick it in the ground and enjoy it. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much. And they had to go, but they said thank you.
No worries. No worries. It's hot today. It looks like some sort of cherry. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, yeah. It's miniature Barbados cherry. Whoa, that's crazy. It is cute. Yeah, that's perfect.